In this lesson, I'm going to show you some really useful Canva apps. These include the QR code generator, the Smart Mockups app. I'll show you what that is and how to use it. The drawing app. I will show you how to use apps to import more of your media, and Google Maps. QR codes are a great way to make your documents that you're creating more interactive, right? Whether it's a presentation that you're giving and you're adding a QR code for the people watching you to download a handout for the presentation, for example, or you're creating an event poster or a flyer maybe, and the QR code on it, when scanned, will take people directly to the sales page where they can buy tickets for the event. You can even add phone numbers to QR codes, so when people scan it, they can just tap on the phone number to call somebody. That's also an option. And Canva makes it really easy to use QR codes. They have their own QR code app here. You find it by looking for it in the sidebar menu right here. If you can't find it here, click on More, and it will show up as a suggestion under this apps here. So it's right here, the QR code app. And it's super simple. You just have to enter your URL, so the link of where you want people to go when they scan the code. So for example, you could have a lead magnet on your website that you want people to download. Or for my business, I have a quiz that I use as a lead magnet. So I could just go to my quiz, and then I just copy the URL right here and enter it. And Canva automatically creates my QR code. You can see that this is a pretty busy QR code, right? Lots of squares in it. I would recommend to use a URL shortener to make the QR code a little simpler. It's not super important that you do this, but you'll be able to make the QR code a little bit smaller and phones can still scan it without problems. And it just looks nicer to have a simpler QR code. So all you have to do is take your URL and take it to a QR code shortener like Bitly, for example. So I have a QR code shortener for that exact same superpower quiz. And I just copy this short one now and take it to Canva. And when I enter this, you will see that this code is a lot simpler now. So it's just, making it look a little bit better. And the other advantage of it is that now you can actually track it. So I can see that 25 people already clicked on this QR code or in this link rather, and I can, have some tracking that way. You don't have that option from within Canva. You just create the QR code and you don't really know how many people use this QR code. By using a URL shortener like Bitly, you can track it. So you can create a new QR code for each presentation, for example, and then see how many people took action during that event. And then you have some options here to customize your QR code, basically just the colors. So the background color and the QR code itself. Unfortunately, when you click on this, you don't really get your brand colors right here, so you have to copy and paste them. So for example, I want my background color here, which is just a little bit off-white. So I click on the background color, and then I copy this code, this hex code, and I paste it right in here. And I do the same with the foreground color, with my code color. So first I copy it. Let's say I'm going to make it red. So I copy this code and I paste it right in here. And now I have a pretty good looking QR code right there. The margin is basically the space between the code and the background, so you can take it down all the way to 0, or you can make it even bigger. 2 seems to be a pretty good spot. And then you just click Generate QR Code, and it will show up in your design right here. And from there, you can just use it like any other design element. You can make it bigger or smaller. You can't really edit it anymore. Once you created your QR code, it's there. And if you want to change anything, like the colors, for example, you would have to create a new one. You can, it's still here, so you can just go in and change the colors, and then it will add a new code there. But this is basically what it looks like, and it's super easy to use. If you want to create a QR code for a phone number, all you have to do is type in tel and a colon, and then type in the phone number. And it will create a QR code for the phone number. So if you add this and you would scan this with your phone, it will link to a phone number. So you can, instead of getting a link to a website, you can get a little button you can tap on, and it will allow you to call this phone number straight from your phone. So you don't have to type in any numbers or you have to remember anything. It's just a super quick way to encourage action. Smart Markups is another great Canva app. It allows you to view your designs in a real life context, which can be really helpful sometimes because some of us lack some imagination and we just can't imagine what a certain design would look like on a t-shirt, for example, or on a coffee mug. So Smart Markups lets you try this out and see what it would look like. So you could create different versions for your students to vote on their favorite t-shirt design, or the board to vote on it, or whatever. So let me show you how you can do that. There are actually two different ways you can do this. Let's say we want to create a new t-shirt, so with our logo on it. So I have the logo right here, and you can find the Smart Markups app not under apps over here on the more where a lot of them are. The Smart Markup app is actually under the edit image menu right here. So you upload an image. In this case, I uploaded the Sherman logo. And when you click on it, you have up here in the toolbar the edit image option. And here you can find all kinds of ways of editing your image. And if you scroll down, one of them is the Smart Markups app right here. So if you click on See All, you can see all kinds of different markups you can use, from phones to laptops and computers to business cards and other stationery. And if you scroll far enough down, you get to clothing. So here we can try it out on different t-shirts. So let's say we use this one. Now Canva works on putting our logo on this t-shirt. Well, it looks a tiny little bit big there, but if you see over here, you can see there are some controls. So you can click on that, and here you have options of cropping your photo or your image on that t-shirt. So you can either have it fill the complete, fill the whole entire t-shirt, or you can make sure it fits all in there, or you can customize it. And here you have a way of adjusting the horizontal and the vertical position of your design, as well as the size. So let's make this a whole lot smaller. This looks pretty good. And now we want to keep it in the horizontal center, but we want to move it up a little bit. So let's just decrease that. So, it's not a very exciting design, but this could work as a t-shirt design. What you can also do is you can change the color of the t-shirt. So right now it's a white t-shirt. You could create that as an option, and you could also say, oh, what does it look like on a black t-shirt? And this is what it would look like. And then you just have to click apply, and you have your t-shirt mockup. Now this only works with images. So if you have a design, let's say we created this, and as you can see, this is not an image, this is an actual file that I can still edit. If you want to add something like this to your t-shirt or to whatever mockup you want to use, you either have to use a screenshot of this or turn it into an image first. So you can just take a screenshot and just upload this. And then use this in your design. And then as you can see, I now have the edit image option again, and I can find my smart mockups. And then I can adjust it just like the other one. So I can make a custom, change the object color if I want. I have to know my colors though. I'm have to guess here now. Let's see. That's probably this one. There we go. So it has to be an image to work from here. If I just want to use my mockup on a social media post, for example, on a website or in a presentation, something where I don't print it, it works well enough with just using a screenshot of my original design. But if I want to create a mockup that's going to get printed somewhere, I would probably download my original design up here as a high resolution, as a PDF, for example, or as a high resolution JPEG or PNG, and then upload this. Uploading the PDF probably doesn't make sense, so I would download it as a JPEG or PNG, and then use that to create a high resolution smart mockup. To avoid something like this box around your design, because the colors don't perfectly match, you would have to make sure there is no background. So delete the background on your design and then download it as a transparent PNG file. So you go to download, you select PNG, and you make sure it downloads as with a transparent background. So you can download it and then you would upload it right here and use that as the image you then edit to add it to your mockup design. Okay, this is how you get it without this box around your design. If you would like to use a design directly, so let's say we want to use this as it is without doing the screenshot and uploading and all those things, there is an option for this as well. Let me show you how this works. You get started on the Canva homepage, and if you scroll down here to tools, you see a smart mockup section right here. And from here, you have access to even more mockups. As you can see here in the search bar, over 8,000 different mockups you can choose from. So Canva is giving you different categories here: technology, print, packaging, apparel, home and living. And if you click on each one of them, you have some subcategories that you can choose from as well. So if we're looking for our hoodie, we can click on apparel and then click on hoodies, and then we get a huge selection of different kinds of hoodies with different people, kids, women, men, anything you can imagine, hoodies by themselves in different settings. So lots of different choices. So let's say we go with this guy right here. So you pick your mockup and then click the purple select button. And from here, you could choose between an image you have uploaded, like this design we just used, or you can also use one of your designs. So that's a difference to the Smart Mockups app you use from the design editor. So let's say we want to use our logo. We just select it. And then we can click on Adjust Image right here. And from here, we can make some adjustments to our image. So we can use the slider down here to scale it. We can also just grab it by the corner here and get it to whatever size we like, and then move it around. So we want it somewhere on the pocket probably. So let's see if we can figure this out. You also have other options over here, just like the other one, so you can scale it to fit the width of the mockup, or fill it completely, or stretch it, which I would not recommend. And then you have the custom options, like what we just tried out. So we're gonna try to put it on the pocket. So let's try this out. You have alignment options here, all the way to the left, all the way to the right, or in the center. You can flip your designs if you want to, and then when you're ready, you just click Save. And then Canva shows you where that would be on your mockup, and if you like it, you can click on Save Mockup. If you want to move it around a little bit more, I'd probably move it a little bit to the left. You can adjust your image again, or you can delete it and start with a different one. So let's say we like this design, we click on the purple button again, and then Canva gives you the option of either downloading this as a flattened image or starting a new design by clicking this purple button, Use in the Design, and you can choose what type of document you want to create and then start with this as the starting image. There are two main differences between using the SmartMox app from the home screen versus starting it from your design editor by clicking on Edit Image. And they are, if you start from inside the design editor, you have the option of changing the color of the garment. So this is only important if you're trying to create some kind of apparel item. So whether it be a t-shirt, a hoodie, or maybe a tote bag, if you start using it, or if you start creating it from inside the design editor by clicking on Edit Image, you will be able to change the color of the garment. You cannot do that if you start on the home screen. This only works with white garments. As you can see, if you clicked on Adjust Image, we only had the option of changing the location of the design, but not the color of the garment. So that's one big difference. The other big difference is that if you start with Smart Mockups from the home screen, you just have a lot more choices. You have over 8,000 mockups to choose from in all kinds of different categories. While if you are starting from the design editor by clicking on the app under Edit Images, you're limited. There are probably over 100 smart mockups in here as well, but not over 8,000. So there is a difference. So if you scroll down to the hoodies and sweatshirts and apparel down here, let's see where it is. Right here, you have quite a few options, but not as many as if you go here under apparel. It's just way more choices. I mean, you have subcategories for one thing, and then even if you just go into one of those categories, you have more choices in one category than you have in the entire category right here. So that's a huge difference. But if you're just creating one t-shirt, it probably doesn't matter. You know, if it's more important that you're able to change the color, start here. If it's more important that you have different models and different sizes, different genders, maybe just different options, then start here. Another fun app to try out is the Draw app. Let's find it over here in the sidebar menu. Let's look under more. It's right here. As you can see, it's still in beta, so they're still trying it out, but it's kind of fun to play around with it and, you know, just giving your designs a more handmade touch, if you will. It's probably working really well if you're using a tablet or some kind of pen instead of just a trackpad or a mouse. So you have different pen options here. You can use a glow pen or a highlighter. You can adjust the size. and the transparency, and then you can choose different colors. So I can highlight something, and as you can see, it really goes by my handwriting. It's not very straight, but it's kind of fun. So while you're doing a presentation like I am, for example, you could write things down and, point arrows or whatever. But it looks a little bit wonky, but it has a certain, style to it and a handmade feel, which can be kind of cool. And then you also have an eraser, so you can just erase whatever you have created. And the cool thing is it will only erase your markings, your drawings. It won't erase anything else you have on your design there. So my text stays. I'm just erasing my highlighter here. It's a little bit tricky. I used a really small size. I just make it bigger. There we go. This looks much better. And then you can just erase it. I'm doing it on a trackpad. It's not very convenient to do it like this, so I don't recommend that. But you get the idea. It's a fun app to use. Some other important apps to try out are the apps that allow you to import different media. You can find them all by clicking on the More button over here, and then scroll down a little bit, and it says import your media right here. And from here, you can connect your Canva account with any other account that you might have where you could import elements and photos from. So your Dropbox account, for example, Flickr, Google Drive, Google Photos. You can connect it to your Instagram account. And all you have to do is click on it and then connect it following the instructions. It's super easy, but it's an easy way to get some more photos into your Canva account without having to download it from one place and then upload it to Canva. And the last app or integration I want to share with you guys is Google Maps. So let's try it out. You can find Google Maps just like all the other ones over here under the More button, and then scroll down, and there we have Google Maps. And from here you can type in an address or use anything that's already here if you want to use a map of Machu Picchu, for example. And it will generate the map over here in your design. And the cool thing is that from here it is actually interactive. So you can open the link in a new tab if you want to, but if you double click on it, you can actually zoom in using the plus and minus buttons here. You can zoom out to get a bigger overview. You can click on here to view a larger map. And if you find businesses, you can, or places, locations, you can actually click on links in there as well. For example, to read reviews or go to websites, etc. So for example, Plaza Catalunya right here has reviews, and those are live links, so you can click on them. Now, if you just use this in a print design, you wouldn't be able to click on it anymore, obviously. And one of the disadvantages is that you can't really change the shape, so it will always stay these dimensions. You can't make it more narrow. You can make it smaller, but you can't really change anything else of it. But if you share it as a website, or if you only link, for example, this will be a live map where you can zoom in and zoom out. You can even change it to, to the satellite image. So you can really interact with this map like this, for example. But this only works if you share it as a link with somebody, a view only link, or a link to watch, or maybe a website. It also works if you use the embed option and, for example, embed it on your website. You can also do that. Those are the different options for Google Maps. It's kind of cool that it's interactive like that, but it depends on if you need it or not. I can see some uses for it. It could be pretty neat.